Hello and welcome back to our AP Sports video. Today, I'm going to be doing another draft analysis for Deni Avdija. He is a 6'9" wing small forward from Israel. He's playing in the Maccabi Tel Aviv League, and I mean, a lot of people have been praising him. I mean, his interviews have been good. He's just got good character, and I think he has a lot of talent on the court. Please, before I get into all of this, go ahead and subscribe, like the video. It really helps a lot. Also, our Instagram's in our bio, so if you could follow us there too, that would help a lot. So moving on to Deni Avdija. He is 6'9", like I said, pretty small guy. I mean, he's tall, but he's not built. That's one of his weaknesses, is that he isn't the biggest, strongest guy out on the court. He's from Israel, born and raised in Israel, has been playing basketball his entire life. Obviously, he was blessed with his height because that kind of allowed him to become the player he is today. He plays in the Maccabi League, which is a pretty competitive league in Israel. Nothing like Luka's league, although they did play similar opponents and sometimes the same opponents. But Denny has shown that he isn't playing bums. I don't think he is. He's playing adult men who have been playing basketball. I don't know if it's the same as the NCAA. We've seen tons of European prospects either fail or pan out. Obviously, Luka is the biggest example of that. But I really don't want to compare Luka to Denny because they're two different players. Yes, they're both from Europe and they played growing up from a young age in professional leagues. But they play very different styles of basketball, and I think Denny deserves the right to be his own player. He doesn't need to be always compared to Luka or Kristaps Porzingis or any other European player. I think that should be a stigma that's taken away from all European players, but that is besides the point. I want to get into some of Denny's strengths. He is a fantastic playmaker. He has a natural gift for playmaking, and he's obviously worked on it as well. Another great aspect of his game is his defense. He really isn't the biggest guy. He's not he's 6'9", which is big, tall, height-wise. He's not very heavy. He's not very wide. He doesn't have a very big girth. He's just not a really big, strong dude. And he's a good post defender. He has a lot of potential on the perimeter. He can guard 1 through 4, and he can play 1 through 4. And that's valuable to any team. Another big aspect of his game would be Denny's ability to he has a competitive edge. If you're going to be a top 5 draft prospect, you have to have some sort of competitive edge. And Denny has said in multiple interviews that he really believes in himself. And he's really pretty humble about it, but at the same point, he kind of brings it as it is. He has a lot of faith in himself, a lot of confidence, and he's not going to let anybody get in his way from completing his goals. To get on from his strengths, well, you know what? We'll go ahead and look at some of his strengths. I'm going to put up some game film of Denny's. He played in July. They did a little bubble for that team for Maccabi, for the Maccabi League, and Denny played really well. I mean, he was putting up 20 and 10 a night with 9 assists, almost a triple-double. And he is very talented. His vision, as you can see here, is fantastic. And his rebounding and defending is really, I think his rebounding is slept on. Although not as important as it used to be in the NBA, it's still a pretty good thing to be able to have. Not every player can rebound, and they don't really work on it, especially the guys that are 6'8", 6'9", like Denny, and they kind of have a lot of ball handling, so they're not really going after the rebound every time. But Denny, he's there for the board, and he plays on every part of the court. He's great in transition, which for any team he goes to is going to be fantastic. Anybody who can bring transition offense is a good pickup, in my opinion. I do think he has a good shot form. He's good at the catch and shoot stuff. You find him open in the corner, he's probably going to make it. But he doesn't have the ability to create his own three-point shot off the dribble. It's just not in his game at the moment. I mean, obviously he can do it in practice. There's a lot of practice film of him doing these step-back threes, but he's not gonna ever be a kind of, Trae Young, Luka Doncic, obviously. He's not gonna be a guy that can dribble on the three-point line and just find a shot, and he's gonna have to utilize screens and other methods to get that open shot. His basketball IQ is another fantastic part of his game. He's a really, really smart player. He's really unselfish. He just wants to win. He said it on multiple occasions. He wants to get better and he wants to win games.
Body language, it can happen sometimes. It's basketball,
Yeah.
It's because of your competitor. You want to be as good as you can and to help the team to win. It's not about, oh, I hate this teammate, he doesn't pass to me. It doesn't like that. We're good friends out of the court and on the court, and everything is cool.
But it's hard to do that if you're getting drafted top 5, but there are a couple teams up there that have a lot of potential, have a lot of ability to make it to the championship. Like the Warriors, I mean, they came out with a lot of stuff saying that they were impressed with Denny in his interviews and with his workouts, and the Warriors are a team that are poised for another championship run if Steph and Clay are healthy. Although I don't know if they'll be picking Denny because he doesn't really fit their team. He fits their team, but he isn't what they need. They need a center, and it's probably going to be James Wiseman. Denny, I really like the guy. He seems like a good person. I don't know him obviously personally, but as a Bulls fan, we were touted to get him, and I've kind of been watching a lot of stuff and interviews about him and him talking to reporters, and he seems really humble. He always gives some pretty good answers and gives a good insight into his thought process as a player and a person. I want to get into this draft analysis video by ESPN. He was actually a former scout, Mike Schmitz, is I believe how you say his name. He's been doing interviews over a lot of prospects like LaMelo Ball and Anthony Edwards, all the top guys, and this is like a 40-minute interview film breakdown, and it's some of the best basketball interview I've ever watched.
So here may be some areas like you can see I know this is late, the game's over, right?
Yes.
But you can see here how maybe your handle could use some tightening,
Oh,
just
yes.
one thing, just a little bit sloppy, you draw the foul, whatever. Here's Yam kind of speeding you up a little bit. You do a nice job not getting ripped, but maybe just slowing down and like getting into the offensive flow.
Offense, right. I try to pass him.
And just, just a tough spot. Just a tough spot to be in. But I do think you do a really nice job here using your size.
Definitely.
Okay?
You see small
Have him on your hip, and then watch this. Boom. I'm gone. Strong left hand. Wide open three.
Yeah.
It was amazing. He went over, he gave Denny constructive criticism. He showed Denny what it was like from the scout's point of view, not just an outsider looking in. I mean, Mike Schmitz was an NBA scout, and he's a great draft analysis. He's worked for multiple teams in the NBA, and he kind of gave Denny some good stuff, I think. There's a lot of good points he made in this video, but I took a lot away from it, and one of the biggest things I took away from it is Denny is an all-around guy. He's going to be able to do anything for you besides create his own three-point shot, in my opinion. I love Denny. I think he has a lot of talent and potential, but there are some weaknesses to his game. His shooting is meh. Like I said, he's not going to be able to make his own three-point shot, off the dribble. But even when he gets that open, kick to him, not even in the corner, he has a tendency his form gets messed up, or he doesn't follow through. He isn't a fantastic shooter. It's just how it is. He shot 28% from the line in this most recent tournament, or I think it was his basketball career. He shot 28%, which is not good by any means. Denny is not going to be an elite three-point shooter in his career unless he can change that, and that's up to him if he wants to work on that. And next thing up is his free throws. They're pretty bad. And for a guy like Denny, where he drives a lot and he kind of looks for contact, it's pretty necessary to be able to make your free throws. And it worries me that he's struggling with that, because that, to me, the free throw is a real telling aspect of your confidence in your game and your ability to perform in the clutch. if you can't hit a free throw in the second quarter, what makes me think you can hit a free throw in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left to go? So those are some problems I have with this game. Another problem, he needs to bulk up. He's pretty young. He's really young, actually. But he's too small to work in the NBA for the play style he uses in the EuroLeague. He's got to be able to create that contact. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that against guys like Joel Embiid or any other big center or paint protector. So, again, every strength comes with a weakness. I think he has a lot of talent, a lot of potential, but he will not, in my opinion, ever be a star. He's going to work great with any team. He can be a starter from day one. Maybe he'll make an all-star team at one point in his career, but he's not going to be a superstar. Like LaMelo Ball, who I've had my criticisms with, has a lot more potential than Deni Avdija, just with his natural play, his ability to create, and I mean, he has the confidence it takes to take over. I don't think Denny does, especially when he's going to go to, unless he goes to a team like the Charlotte Hornets, he's not going to be a leader from day one. So, like, if he goes to the Bulls, it's going to be Zach LaVine. If he goes to the Warriors, it's going to be Steph. If he goes to the Wolves, it's going to be D'Angelo Russell and Cat. He's not going to be able to be the number one guy ever, unfortunately for him. But I think he's going to have a long, successful career. And I do think he'll be falling to the Chicago Bulls. A lot of teams have been saying good things about Denny and his workouts, and it's all good, but at the same time, those teams aren't going to draft him over somebody like Anthony Edwards or LaMelo Ball or James Wiseman. The potential for them is so much higher, and when you're on a team that needs to kind of take that risk of boom or bust, they're not going to take Denny. But the Bulls, I think, he fits perfectly with Zach LaVine and Lauri Markkanen. He's going to be able to be great in transition. He's also going to give so much playmaking to that team that's already lacking. Like, they are not a good playmaking team at all, and he's going to provide something that's going to give a spark. Another thing, him and Lauri Markkanen have the EuroLeague combination. Both of them grew up out of the U.S. And another thing is Arturas Karstanovas has been very, like, he drafts Europe guys. He drafted Nikola Jokic, not Vucevic, Jusuf Nurkic. Like, he knows that league so well, and I think he's going to see Denny and be like, this is the guy for our team. He's going to be able to be the final piece, not the final piece, but he's going to be a piece we can use for the next 10 to 15 years if he pans out like I think he will. With all that said, I think Denny can be a 1 or 2 time All-Star with a pretty high floor. He has a very high floor. For all of these guys in the top 10 or top 15, he probably has the highest floor because he can come in day one and provide you with playmaking, defense, great basketball IQ, and some confidence. But his ceiling is a little bit less than guys like LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, and that's a big problem when it comes to the boom or bust side of it. So I think Denny's going to be a good player in the league if he pans out and stays away from injuries. He hasn't really had any injury problems in his career so far, but that can obviously change and it can ruin his career, but that is said for literally any basketball player. So with all that said, I really hope you enjoyed the video. Deni Avdija, great guy. I'm happy to be able to do an analysis on him. Before you go, please like the video, subscribe. Let me know how you feel about it in the comments. I mean, I like the constructive criticism. It provides a lot of help for me in the future when I'm making more videos. So go ahead and do that. Thank you so much for watching this far into the video, and peace.